I don't know what I did to myself today. Welcome to Working Title, where people come and they pitch movies to me, and I decide who has the best one. And today, I did this to myself. I picked two very entertaining people to Muppetfy a movie, to create a movie with Muppets now. But I wanted to not be a comedy, something that might be a little different. And the way that these two are snickering before this started gives me a lot of fear and tension that I might not have a show after this. So, for anyone that watched, thank you for being here until after today. But I'm going to introduce the grouping here, see what they came up with. First off, we are going to bring in Jonathan Graham. How are you doing today?
Not bad at all. It's an absolute honor to be here for your final show. I mean, to be your final guest you ever have. I mean, it really, really brings me a lot of joy that, I could be here at this final moment. Oh, I'm bloody excited. We're going to play the music and light the lights. And I have hopefully, an idea that you think will genuinely work in a Muppety way. So very keen to see how this goes. I'm really excited.
I can tell, and I'm excited to hear it because I knew you two would be excited about this. So, excellent. I cannot wait to hear your pitch. The person you will be pitching against is someone from also across the pond, a good friend. I was on his show recently, and let's see how this goes. I promised him I would not say what I was going to say, so I won't. Dave, how you doing today?
Hello, Anthony. Hello, Jonathan. How are you both?
I'm good. He was calling you old, by the way, a second ago.
Yeah, he does that. It's okay. He's young. I'll let it. I am the oldest one on the stream. It is. Yeah, I am old. I'll accept that. Yes, you're right, Anthony. You have been on my show, and the next guest on the next set of episodes is the guy over here. Jonathan is next on That Made Your List, available on all good podcast streaming services. I am looking forward to be the author of your demise of this show. Then
I bet you are.
Yes, I've thought about this quite possibly way too much. I have almost been obsessed with this over the past 24, 36 hours, almost solidly. Right, what can I do? I can do this. I can do that. How about this? This would work. I mean, who would have thought Schindler's List would work so well as a Muppet movie?
Yep. No,
we're in the pictures now, though, yeah?
Yeah. Not just yet. Give me.
Right, okay,
I'll let you ruin the show in a minute. But awesome. I cannot wait. I know you two are huge Muppet fans. That's why I was really excited to bring you in on this and that you both could do this. All right. I want to get this started because I want to hear these pitches. So, round number one is what I have dubbed "Hit Me With Your Best Plot," because this is when you are going to give me the plot of your movie. You will get 5 minutes ish to pitch me your movie. And just whoever's listening, just Dave, pay attention, see what you like, see what you don't like for later in this show. I am going to do my best to write all this down and see how this goes. So, John, you are first up. How this works is whenever you start talking, I will start the clock. So I waste none of your time, and your 5 minutes will start whenever you are ready. Anticipation. So use this?
The joke there was that I was going to start writing out in my notepad, and therefore I wouldn't be talking. That was the joke there. And that joke's now completely just fallen away. So I'll start with a proper joke from the Muppets.
Yeah. All right. Good start.
Yeah. I'm hilarious. Okay. Picture the scene. What makes the Muppets great in their 90s films? It's the music. They're wonderful with their comedic music situations. It's the sending up of dramatic situations in a way that makes you genuinely laugh. And it's how they can bring an ensemble together. And I could think of few better ensemble pieces the Muppets would augment than taking the stupidly over-the-top dramatic musical style, cutting out all the boring songs no one likes, adding a lot more fun, and making it the Muppets. Picture this. The film opens over a seascape. Kermit the Frog goes, and this is our story. I can't do a Kermit voice. I'm not even going to try. You then start to hear the orchestra coming in and the music. Look down Look down, don't look them in the eye. The camera then pans down. They keep singing for a while. You see some fish down in the sea. Kermit has to stop the movie and go, no, not you, not the cameraman. God, no. And they're not singing to you. Phil, come on. Drag it back into this shipyard. As you see all the standing up Muppets there pulling this ship in. And there in the middle is the one true Muppet, Hugh Jackman. There playing Jean Valjean, surrounded by all the other Muppets. As he is there singing everything with the entire level of sincerity he has done for the rest of that original movie, as we go for full-on Muppet Les Mis. Then down comes, I'm going to give away some of my casting here for the main part because I feel I have to. In comes Sam the Eagle as, now, prisoner 24601, your time is up and your parole has begun. And Hugh Jackman, again, with the same not having drank water for 3 days. Yes, it means I'm free. Yes, you are. Go on then. And they keep going like that. We then have Hugh Jackman going around trying to find work, just meeting lots of little Muppets who won't hire him because he's too tall or he's got a number and they don't like numbers. He goes, he meets the bishop. The bishop is lovely and kind. He then steals from the bishop by taking the entire house, walks away with it in his pocket, but he's arrested and brought back. This then continues as he then is forgiven, just like in the original musical. And we then flash forward in time and see he's now the mayor, and we have this wonderful factory set up where someone is causing a bit of trouble because someone found out that a certain pig has a certain child. And everyone is very, very angry at Miss Piggy. And as a result, she judo chops half of the other workforce around the room there. You know, how dare you judge me? Do chop! Etc., things like that. She's then, of course, then expelled out into the wide world when she is approached, having had to sell some of her soul, etc., etc. She's approached by a cameo we'll cover in a second. She's saved by the wonderful Hugh Jackman. Kermit, by the way, is narrating the entire thing here as we go along. And then Miss Piggy, tragically, tells Hugh Jackman she must save her child, and then she wants to keep going. And she's very annoyed. And there's a large on-screen fight with Kermit about the fact, I don't die. There's literally nothing in the music about why I'm dying in this situation. Yeah. It's just the plot, Piggy. It's just the plot. There's no reason for this at all. The show then continues. We go to the wonderful inn at Montfermeil, and we meet Thénardier, played by, we'll cover that in a bit. We'll get to that in a second. As we then progress through then into later in Paris, where all the Muppets are there as the students in the ABC Cafe. And of course, in the film and the book, it's the ABC Cafe. In the Muppet version, that of course takes place on Sesame Street, where we start to learn our ABCs, because that's how the Muppets work when you get this kind of joke, and it's bloody brilliant. They sing the rallying cries as they then all sing together. We then go on with the love triangle of Marius. We'll get to Marius in a second, and the people sing along with him. But then the full-on revolution happens, and we're there with all the Muppets on one side of the barricade. Hugh Jackman, like in the film, sings his beautiful version of Bring Him Home, which if you see in the movie, he belts out in the middle of the night at about as loud as he possibly can. This wakes all the other Muppets up. They get really, really annoyed, and they just go home. As a result, there's no violence or shooting in this version. It just ends up with him and Gonzo going, Gonzo is Marius, of course, going, oh, well, let's have a wedding. Everyone has a wedding. Piggy's still there. Everyone lives happily ever after, singing the key songs, having a lot of fun sending up the overly dramatic, terrible Tom Hooper version for Muppet Les Mis.
That was fantastic. Excellent. Spence, big fan of it. Wasn't this marvelous? That was well done, well said. Very, very entertaining. I noticed a lot of it. I was entertained by it. All the parts that you changed up to Muppetfy worked really well for a movie that is kind of dark and dreary. But if you Muppetfy it, I would watch it a lot more than like the one time I've ever seen it, and the only time I will probably ever see it. Fingers crossed. That was great. I cannot wait to see who else you have cast possibly in this as some other random characters. Excited for that. That's a tough one to follow, Dave. I'm very intrigued by what you got. So whenever you are ready, I will start your 5 minutes.
Okay. Picture the scene. You're in the cinema. It's dark. The lights go down. You're sitting in your nice comfy chair. You've got your popcorn. You've got your soda. Corner of the screen. Statler and Waldorf. They're talking to each other. What are we doing here? I don't know. What are we doing here? All of a sudden, you hear a hammer striking metal. Clang, clang, clang. A wonderful, charming female voice comes over. One Muppet to rule them all. One Muppet to find them. One Muppet to bring them all, and in the cinema bind them. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the Muppet Middle-earth.
Got it.
It's a franchise of films that takes itself so fantastically seriously, yet glosses over its absurd plot holes so blatantly it is crying out for Muppetification. That's a new word. That is down. That's in. Who better than the Muppets to spoof the Lord of the Rings? The Lord of the Rings films themselves are a story or a film about friendship, about an enduring friendship and an unassuming character that goes beyond the call of duty. I've just described Kermit the Frog and Fozzie Bear's friendship and what Kermit does in every single movie. He goes beyond the call of duty of an unassuming character. The Muppets alone, their movies have brought in, bear in mind, there's probably only 2 or 3 that is since the 90s. Most of them were 80s. $500 million. The Muppets. Lord of the Rings, that fantastic franchise. I'm sure you'll agree with me when you're not interrupting me, Anthony. The fantastic franchise that is Peter Jackson's Middle-earth saga has grossed almost $3 billion. I'm not going to give away any cast. I'm waiting for this. I'm keeping my powder dry on this one because this cast is stellar. But the combination of the universally loved Muppets and the almost as universally loved Lord of the Rings. I'm sure you'll agree with me, Anthony, because obviously you can't interrupt me at the moment because this is my time for this all. So it's not only a license to print money. This is a license to print cinema tickets. You're going to break box office with this. This is the Muppets Middle-earth. Maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh. I'm done.
Okay, should we all just have a vote, by the way, and just agree that Lord of the Rings are incredible movies? So I think they're incredible movies. You think they're incredible movies? Yep. Okay, it's a majority rule then, so there's no discussion. Yes. Lord of the Rings are incredible movies.
Fantastic.
Oh, wait, you forgot I have the power. So, no. You know what? You might have just made me watch one and be more intrigued because I love the Muppets and I think these movies are just dull and boring and everyone knows that that's how I feel. God, you know what? I should have known. I should have known you were going to do that. But I appreciate it because you know what? You're right. You admitted there's a lot of plot holes. There's a lot of issues in these movies that are blatant to just a casual viewer, and the Muppets would do a great job of making fun of those issues and bringing those out. Oh God, that was painful because I knew what you were doing at the beginning, but I like a lot of what you did. I would be a little curious to see kind of how you would Muppetfy certain parts of certain of the movies. That would have been kind of cool to hear. But if you have an idea in this next round, that would be perfectly fine. Oh, here we go. Now you got the host of the show and basically the person that created this whole thing. So you lose. Anyway, round number 2. I'm extremely excited for both of yours, especially Dave, because Dave apparently has a fantastic cast. But this is what I call the casting call. This is when you're going to give me your cast. You're going to tell me your characters, your stars, a couple of the supporting if you would like, a director if you have it. If you don't, doesn't matter. I don't know directors, so I'm probably not going to know who you're talking about anyway. So since John went first with the plot, Dave, enlighten me. Who is your cast in this Muppet Middle-earth?
Okay, my cast, my fellowship, if you will, of Muppet characters. We'll start off at the top. Frodo, he's the man, he's the hero, he's the guy that's going to go that extra mile. That is Kermit the Frog. He is the unassuming guy that is strong-willed enough to carry the One Ring all the way to Mordor and drop it into the barbecue, because that's all it's going to be. There's no mountain there. We're going the far end, and it's just like a big wood burner chimney barbecue that you just got to drop into the top of. We don't need eagles, okay? Because let's face it, this bird's going to eat the frog. So these eagles are coming in, okay? He's seeing those, and they're being shooed away. He's out of there. He doesn't want any part of that. Frodo is joined on his entire quest by his best friend, his gardener, his longtime ally. It is Fozzie Bear, the only guy who could possibly play Samwise Gamgee. Filling out the as it was Hobbits, Muppets, we've got Merry and Pippin, played by Gonzo and Rizzo the Rat. Two characters who, during the Muppets, are best of friends, carrying that through with Merry and Pippin, who are mischief makers friends through the films that they are there. Which brings us through to the rest of the fellowship. We're entering into the action, the meat, the gristle. Gandalf the Grey. There is only one person who can play Gandalf the Grey. He's played him already. We have got Sir Ian McKellen. He's back. He's in the robe. He's got the stick. He's got the pointy hat. Sir Ian McKellen. He would love to play opposite Muppet. He is the kind of guy who loves this kind of thing. You're thinking Michael Caine with Ebenezer Scrooge. You're thinking Tim Curry in Treasure Island. He is that kind of guy. He is playing up. He's not treating these Muppets as if they're puppets. He is treating them as if they are human. He is treating himself as if he's a Muppet. He's going full bore into this. We have got playing Aragorn. I'm bringing him back. It's Viggo Mortensen, because no one else can portray that. And as Boromir, we have Sean Bean, because everyone loves to see Sean Bean die in a movie. It's the Muppets. He's not going to. He's just going to get carried away by a load of. It's not the orcs, because the orcs are mean and scary. These are Menominars. The orcs are the Menominars. And they're charging. They're not charging with swords. They're going, and they're picking them up and then running away through the trees. These trees that talk, by the way, because let's face it, the Ents were practically Muppets anyway. Filling out the rest of the cast. Gimli, that's Rolf the dog. Short, furry, dark hair. I could be talking about either one here. And Legolas. You think of Legolas, you think of long, blonde, flowing locks. I'm playing slightly with it. I'm doing this gender switch. It's Janice from the band. Long, blonde, flowing locks. Perfect. We're missing someone. We're missing a big member of the Muppets. Miss Piggy. A strong female character. It could only be Galadriel, Lady of the Light. She kicks ass whenever she's around. She is there. Elrond, Lord of the Elves. Sam Eagle. He is there. He is giving the advice. He's saving the world. He's making Viggo's sword back again. But for every light side, we have the evil. We've got Saruman. There's only one guy who can play him. It's Uncle Deadly, maniacal laugh himself. He is perfect as Saruman. As you say, for the orcs, we've got the Menominars. For the Uruk-hai, that's the big orcs, by the way, Anthony. I know you're not massively keen on these.
I appreciate
That's Sweetums. It's lots and lots of Sweetums. The big, tall, 7 foot tall, 8 foot wide. It's there. And then just one character left. We know who it is. It's my precious. But oh my God, Animal will love this role. Animal is Gollum. Animal is Schmeagol. What more can I say? The Muppets fit the Lord of the Rings cast. They pick themselves all the way down. I'm done.
Precious. Baggins.
This is such a better movie than the Lord of the Rings they are now. Like, This is great. Honestly, this is a great cast. This is really well played.
That said, sorry, I said I was done. Apologies. One more. I do have a director. It is at the bottom of the list. There's only one person I really want to see direct another Lord of the Rings movie, and that is Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro doing a Muppet Middle Earth movie.
Are you pandering?
Not at all. You know, I mentioned this to you before. I wanted to see the Guillermo del Toro Hobbit movies, and I was robbed.
That is true. You were robbed. I mean, I accept pandering, so that's cool. But
damn it! If only I'd known.
That's a great cast. The Gonzo and Rizzo as Merry and Pippin. That is spot on. I didn't know what you were going to do with that, but I think that's fantastic. And the Menomenas as the orcs, I'm laughing just still thinking about it because I can see it and it's killing me inside a little bit because that's really good. It's really, really good. Bliss is a big fan of this. All right. You have a lot of characters in your movie, so there was a lot going on. They're all very good. The director, I mean, I would probably watch these more if he was the director because he's my favorite. So, John, I know you gave a couple away, but you just remind us who you have as some of the major ones and any of the extras that you might have going on.
Of course. Okay, well, we mentioned that our lead, Jean Valjean, it could only be Hugh Jackman for the same reason Dave mentioned before. Hugh Jackman, I don't think he ever looks at the people on set with him. He doesn't care who's around him as long as he's getting paid and he looks prestigious. He's fine doing it with small puppets around him or large puppets or everyone being a puppet. He wouldn't notice. Kermit is our narrator. Because we're cutting out a lot of the songs to make it down to like 2 hours, not 12. We need a bit of narration just to speed the plot along there and also to remind the audience some of the silly things happening to explain why it's all stupid. Now we get on to the love triangle late in the movie. The main romantic leads. We have Gonzo as the young student Marius just trying to find his way in the world, and Cosette, this beautiful daughter adopted by Jean Valjean, who is, of course, Camilla the chicken. That is right. When we get a heart full of love, we're getting full song. No edits there at all. The rest of the students, the leader of them, Enjolras, is of course played by Rizzo the Rat. He's, the best friend of Gonzo and everything that we've seen. It could only be him there, inspiring all the other Muppets. Plays for a great joke as well. The big, inspiring leader is this tiny rat, and all the other big characters, including all the band around there at that time, and Scooter and Ralph, who turn up at that point because they just wanted to be in the movie and no one had given them anything else to do. The final student is Grantaire, who doesn't do too much in the movie version, a bit more in the play, but he does. We bring back the verse from the play where he does red and black, red, the blood of angry men, black. He sings red and black, and no character could do that better than Animal. So we'd be getting red, black. A running joke that will then go for the rest of the movie. Whenever Animal saw anything red or black, he would just be red, red. Animal, we're not doing that anymore. We've moved on. Going back to the females, so of course we start with Miss Piggy as Fantine, who is incredibly annoyed that she gets killed off about a third of the way through the movie. She, of course, appeals to Kermit, saying, "No, I'm not dead. Literally, there's nothing that would kill me that's happened to me so far. No, we want you to have died at this point for the plot to move on." We then move over to the inn. We meet Fozzie Bear as Thénardier, doing the master of the house, but wacka wacka style, and his wife, Madame Thénardier. The door flings open, and there, in full anger, to yell at the young chicken, it's Meryl Streep in this wonderful, imposing moment before Miss Piggy swings in from the side, kicks her off the screen, and she never appears again. Miss Piggy steals her outfit and will then be playing that character for the rest of the movie. Streep there in a 4-second cameo, because Piggy needs to be on for the entire show. Then, of course, Madame Thénardier stops appearing. We meet Eponine later on, of course, played by the beautiful, talented singer Taylor Swift, who you see walking on screen for 4 frames before a door opens, knocks her out, and Miss Piggy puts on the outfit there, and will then be performing Eponine's part as well for the rest of the movie, yelling at Kermit, saying, "No, I'm allowed to do this. It's my film." A few other little cameos. In the same way in Muppets Most Wanted, we had Ty Burrell playing this sleazy French guy. He'll be playing the part best known as Sleazy French Guy, who approaches Miss Piggy in the first half of the movie. Fozzie Bear will be turning up, always quite annoyed that he's playing the villain character. He's like, oh, but I want to be the fun one. I want to be nice to everyone. No, Fozzie, you have to rob the house. The script says it. Oh, can I give him a chicken? No, you have to make a noise and rob him, Fozzie. That's how this works. And of course, at the end, when everyone goes home after Hugh Jackman is singing far too loud in the middle of the street, they just decide to have a wedding. Everyone comes back, everyone who kind of died in the show, including 3 different Miss Piggies, looking very confused at the different costumes they're all wearing as Kermit goes. And that is kind of Les Mis, and that's the only version of this you need to know. And it was followed up by the wonderful sequel, Cats. Final shot of all the Muppets suddenly dressed as cats, and it ends.
I want both of these movies so badly. I don't think you understand how good this is. I mean, there's a lot of positive reviews here from everybody for both of these movies.
Can I just bring Malcolm's back up again for me?
Yeah.
Malcolm's Middle Earth Media calling for a Muppet Les Mis. Take your New Zealand self outside and have a word with yourself strongly.
Oh my goodness. Oh, and yeah. And pandering to Spence, always a good one with bringing in the Cats reference, right? Okay, oh my god, this is also a fantastic cast. Just bringing in the fact that you brought in Meryl Streep and Taylor Swift for literal seconds to just kick them out and have Miss Piggy play the roles because it's Miss Piggy is perfect. That's great. A lot of the other cast, very good. I like it. Animal. Both of you have perfect animals. Honestly, and great roles that would work. This is not easy. Obviously, it's a little difficult to bring out the Muppetization of these movies because their movies are already made. You only have bits and pieces, but your casting is on point. All right. Here comes the part where I get to just take a second and listen to you two yell at each other, and I call it the comment section. Because if you ever go on YouTube or Facebook, the comment section is where, well, people are dicks. So this is the chance you two can be dicks to each other. Tell me why your movie is better than the other. Tell me why your movie is the one that I should pick. I'll let you guys go for a while. I'm just going to sit back here and laugh as you two just argue with each other. And at some point, I'll stop and give you a 30-second, let's finish this up kind of thing. So whenever you want to start, whoever starts, feel free.
Dave, your movie is great.
I'm going to dive straight.
No. I beat you to this. Your movie sounds amazing. I want to see your movie. However, I've got a question. Are you doing this as like a non-musical? Because like Muppets from Space was the only non-musical one, and that's probably the weakest one in my opinion. So what songs are coming in here, and where are you getting the humor in the music? That's such a critical part of the Muppets. Like, I've got a chicken singing A Heart Full of Love. That's the best chicken song since in the Muppets starring Amy Adams, where the chickens sing Forget You by CeeLo Green, but in Bucks, and they wanted to call it Cluck You, but they weren't allowed, which I think is just something I love, and I wanted to say it. But where's the music coming in?
Have you watched The Lord of the Rings?
I have. Took me a day.
And that was just a fellowship.
What do you mean? Walk, walk, walk.
No. You see, right? Okay, you've stolen this. This was being saved until my closing argument, but I'll do it now. Anthony's main issue with Lord of the Rings is it's walking, throw a sword about, walking. We did it with the Muppets, okay? We travel by map. That's how we're taking it down from 18 hours, yeah, to 2.5. Yeah? Everything is travel by map. That was my blockbuster ending, and you stole that from me.
It's okay. I haven't got a blockbuster ending. I feel I peaked with Miss Piggy swinging in, knocking Meryl Streep off a flight of stairs, and then taking her clothes, which is not a sentence I ever thought I would say in my life.
The songs during the normal Lord of the Rings are done during the traveling stages. I'm getting rid of those. We don't need those. Okay? We don't need the traveling songs because they're traveling by map. So we can have if you want, we can have the song, the chickens going bah, 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 as you plot along there. We don't need them. We don't need them. We've got Muppet action. We don't need Muppet songs. We've got Muppet action.
But is Muppet Council meeting that entertaining? Like, you know, and 20 minutes of
it
council
is when you've got Sam the American Eagle going up against Sir Ian bloody McKellen.
Oh, we all know who'd win that one. Sam the Eagle wins it every time. Ian McKellen's in Cats. And that's how it kind of works. That's the criteria. You were in Cats, therefore you're not allowed to have a view bit. I just feel the Muppets need some form of music, and in terms of what the characters turning to the camera and doing a silly little song. Amy Adams saying, "I'm having a me party," and you know, when they're taking part. I think that would kind of damage the Lord of the Rings kind of vibe, you know, if suddenly if Sean Bean going like, you know, I'm on my way from to Mordor today, doesn't quite have the same kind of the impact of it. Whereas in Les Mis, we already have the overly serious songs, and then they can Muppetify them, make them a bit silly and lighter. Imagine, do you hear the people sing, started by Rizzo and no one listening to them? Do you hear an animal having to go, quiet? Do you hear the people sing? Well, now we do. Come on, you were too loud before. All these options for humour that, you know, is a critical part of Muppets.
Don't get me wrong. I genuinely think yours is a fantastic pitch. And it is the only way that I would watch Les Mis. I tried watching it before I fell asleep. I couldn't do it. I tried. I have genuinely tried to watch it. Fell asleep. It's not for me. But you're saying that taking the songs away is damaging the look. We're putting Muppets into Lord of the Rings. Okay, we can't damage Lord of the Rings any more than putting the Muppets in it. Okay, we are stripping that right down. Okay, and building up something new. It's not. This is not Jackson's Lord of the Rings. Okay, this is the Muppet Middle Earth. Forget Malcolm's Middle Earth. This is the Muppet Middle Earth. Okay, we are bringing something new. We're bringing something fresh to Tolkien's story.
Would the Muppets like it though? Would Miss Piggy appreciate only being on screen about, you know, a tenth of your movie? She's not the lead. Like, you know, all the ones, like, you look at the Muppet Treasure Island, she's really annoyed she only turns up 2/3 of the way into that movie. I don't think Miss Piggy, as a casting choice there, will be comfortable with what you're proposing here. And I don't think you've thought about this. It's like, you know, I've not cast Hugh Jackman as, you know, a tiny part who's there for the entire movie. I've cast Hugh Jackman as the lead because that's what he does. You have not properly thought about this through with Miss Piggy's agent.
Correct. What I did, I looked under the table and had a word with a bloke with his hand up her skirt. And he's fine with it because he wants full pay for half day's work. It's all good.
Oh my God.
I love how did that chat with Frank Oz go? Hey Frank, how's it going? Knives Out. Yeah, Knives Out, Frank. You were great. Yeah, I love some of your
all good.
Some of your films. Great. By the way, you know, how would Miss Piggy feel about this? Meanwhile, his other hand's up Fozzie Bear, who's there going, well, I'm wandering around with Frodo here, you know, in that kind of sense. But yours sounds great fun. I just feel it feels like a sketch. I don't quite see how the entire story works. Also, Muppets don't work with sequels well. We saw that in Muppets Most Wanted, where the bits they were trying to play off the original didn't. The Muppets weren't quite as effective. So if you're condensing all three into one, I feel you're messing the spirit of Lord of the Rings. How do you do I like that. How do you do Helm's Deep with Muppets? You don't have that many puppeteers. We've seen the ending of the first Muppet movie. They've only got about 60 characters. Are you going to CGI repeat over Muppets? Because that ruins the image.
Close the scripts down. And you're not fighting Helm's Deep, though. What you've got is admittedly, have to be done for the first time in a Muppet movie, you've got CG. You've got hordes of CG manamanas. And all you can hear as they're coming down that hill towards Helm's Deep is manamana, and someone's in the back going do 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 manamana do 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 manamana do do do, and they're coming in, and they're not beating them down, they're picking them up and they're running them back away again, and you hear them go.
Yeah, but is that as intimidating as Sam the Eagle standing on a bridge of Javert, having a quandary because he lets Hugh Jackman get away, and jumping off into the river only to land on a Hawaiian boat full of all the rats who give him a margarita and go, come to the island, and suddenly Sam the Eagle's off having a nice time? That is how you Muppetify a joke.
No, it's not. You're right.
They undercut
it.
It's
not as intimidating.
They don't.
It's not as intimidating. You're right. It's
They
not as
don't
intimidating, but what it is more entertaining. Because you will walk out of that film and all you will be doing is mana, mana, do, 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 and just picturing little Manamanas carrying away Sean Bean.
Miss Piggy singing On My Own. On my own, as she realizes that everyone has suddenly walked away from her. At the end, she's singing On My Own on an empty sound set because everyone's left, and Kermit has to go on stage. That's not what it meant. That's not what it meant, guys. Cinematographer, come back. The camera just falls over in the final third of the song because the cameraman has walked off. That's not what we meant by On My Own. Come on, that's not how this was meant to be working. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift occasionally, you see, maybe at the end, you just see Taylor Swift's feet walking by going, I'm never doing this again. I'm going back to Tom Hooper. Wouldn't that be a better way of doing it for the Muppet style of the joke?
Don't get me wrong. It's a great pitch and it's fantastically entertaining, but your source material, it's when they go the best Muppets ones, Christmas Carol and Treasure Island. They were the two best ones by far, really. They are. You don't roll your eyes. They are.
I debate the first one. I would also throw the original Muppet movie into the mix with those two.
Okay, in my opinion, which I'll preface it with, based on literary works.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the Muppets are going back to their core best work, but riffing off a great literary body of work with Tolkien's work there.
Les Mis was a book, yeah, don't you? Les Mis is a book. Right? Les Mis was a book.
Yes, I am aware it's a book. I am aware. Okay. Treasure Island does hold up Adelaide.
Yeah.
But it's has Les Mis got as broad an appeal? Yes, the Muppets got the broad appeal, but has Les Mis got that broad appeal?
If we're going to go for broad appeal to get people in, I'd pitch the Muppet porno. But I'm not doing that. I'm pitching something that, would actually really work and be hilarious in the context of the Muppets. And it plays to their strengths. The ensemble, the undercutting the serious jokes, and the music. And, singing One Day More and trying to fight their way into one shot because they've only bothered to afford one cameraman, according to Kermit, everyone pushing each other out of the way to try and get in before Miss Piggy just explodes in the middle when she comes in as Eponine. That is the Muppets, not repeating a joke of traveling by map and then putting a ring in a barbecue.
That was okay. You guys are great. This was This was great. I feel like we kind of got, I think, most of the stuff out. I want to give each of you about 30 seconds. Give me a closing argument. Dave, you want to go first? John just kind of got last word in. I'll give you about 30 seconds, not time, just kind of a short closing statement about why yours is better.
The Muppet Middle-earth saga is not just a Muppet movie. It's reimagining one of the most successful franchises in recent cinema history, but with Muppets. That's 30 seconds. I'm done.
Good point. I can't argue that. Putting Muppets in almost anything makes it better. John, closing statement.
The main thing about the Muppets is staying true to what the Muppets are: musical, hilarious, satirical, and giving people something new. And you tell me that Hugh Jackman holding the hand of a dying Miss Piggy, who then refuses to say that she's dead, nothing's wrong with me, I'm feeling fine, I can dance, isn't what you want to see Muppets. As Hugh Jackman there trying to give his Oscar-y stare is undercut by all this. Once more, just end with Meryl Streep opens a door, looks serious, and then Piggy comes in, hi-ya! And that is my conclusion.
That was the blockbuster ending you were waiting for. Oh my god. These were great. This was one of the most fun shows here I've had in quite a while. So we will move on to the final thing, which is the critic's choice, which is me. Sadly for both of you, I am the critic in this one. These were great. Honestly,
I didn't sign up for this. This is no Jonathan. Were we told? I thought we had someone proper with proper view. I thought we were getting Adelaide in for this part. I was expecting someone with valid views and opinions.
All
I
right.
just kind of feel that, it kind of undercuts the importance of all this when we're then doing this kind of situation. And
You actually got him there.
well, that worked.
Yeah.
That backfired
Dave.
because I know how much he loves his musicals.
Dave, you just bit yourself on the ass there.
Yeah, I know I have.
Sven, while you're here, how about you tell us which one you would pick?
At the end of the day, Dave, you're trying to condense 9 hours into an hour and a half, 9 hours of already flawed source material. Meanwhile, you have the greatest pitch I've ever heard, Camilla the Chicken singing Heart Full of Love. There is no fucking way that he doesn't win this. Like, you know how Disney Premier Access is like, oh yeah, pay $30 to watch this movie? There are very few things I would pay $30 to watch, especially not even having my own. I would rob a bank for $30 just to fucking watch Muppet Les Mis. That is the greatest thing I have ever heard of.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Probably backfired on me there.
That backfired hard on you. I told you.
Your bluff being called back.
These are both great. I honestly would watch the crap out of both of these movies numerous times. Even though I don't like Lord of the Rings, I would watch this one because watching Animal do the precious part would be. I'm not even going to try. John's much better at this than I am. That would be a lot of fun. Perfect. John, the way you actually Muppetified Les Mis was fantastic. How you would use the Muppets in their normal characters to make the movie that extra little bit of weird was perfect. So my decision here, Dave, you made me want to watch Lord of the Rings. That's what you did here. You pulled that off. But I just wanted a little bit more detail about how you would bring the Muppets into Lord of the Rings to make it less of that jury walking other than the map, which I appreciate. It takes away a lot of walking. But I just wanted to hear a little bit more of maybe you would have Muppetified with it. John, you did a great job with it, so I'm going to go with your Les Mis. I think you had a lot of good points, but both casts are great. These were both such good movies. I could not be happier I had you two on here. This was hilarious. This is by far the most I've laughed on here, and these are great pitches overall. John, go to you first. Did you enjoy yourself on here? You want to try it again? Do you have anything to plug? All the above.
I think you've seen, while I've been on this, I've been incredibly miserable. It's been a horrible, just sad experience, and I would do it again absolutely anytime. That was great fun. Dave is a wonderful person to go against in terms of Muppetry. It's nice to have a pair of Muppets here doing it ourselves, representing the UK. I know, wonderful fun. Thanks, mate. I don't have anything to plug other than get a vaccine if you can get a vaccine. It'll make the world better and easier. We'll go for that.
Agreed. I'm working my way to get one at some point, hopefully soon. Dave, same questions for you. I know you had to deal with me, which isn't exactly your favorite person, but I hope you at least had fun on here. And I know you have some stuff to plug, so please let us know what you got going on.
Yeah, first things first. This I have absolutely loved. This has been fantastic.
It's so good.
Yes, I didn't win, but seeing the look on your face when the penny dropped from the one Muppet to rule them all, just the look on that face, that was worth it. I could have quite happily stopped then and just said, Jonathan, take the win. I could have stopped then. Because as soon as you realised I was doing Lord of the Rings, that was worth. I would be really honest. That was 90% of the reason why I chose Lord of the Rings. It was because I know of your loathing of it.
It's a good
this has been great, Jonathan. I've spent a couple of hours chatting with you recently, and I knew the kind of energy you would bring to your plot after you described your favorite childhood movie for about 5 minutes, just giving me the plot of it all. So I knew what you were in for, Anthony. You got all this to come. When you watch my show. Oh, I've got a show, by the way. It's called That Made Your List. It's a average ordinary person. That's me interviewing average ordinary people. Previously, it's been this guy down here, that way there. And next week, it's going to be this guy over here. Him. It's 20 questions ranging from favourite film to most overrated and any and all points in between. It's available on the featured presentation productions page. I don't know if we're allowed to, I don't know if you're going to blank that out when we get anywhere, but no. Also available on Apple Podcasts and on Podbean. If you want to watch and enjoy it, please do. If you want to be on it, hit me up and we'll arrange a time to get you on.
Yeah, actually, no. So I'll plug watch that when he's on it because it's really good and I really enjoyed watching it. And we actually overlapped with a couple, and that was great because I didn't realize that was awesome. He's also a massive fan of The Happening. Also watching when I'm on it because it was great and great fun. And I just cannot recommend enough anyone watching to get involved with both this show because this was so much fun just getting to do something like this and be creative, and on Dave's show, which I really, really, really enjoyed just doing and chatting about films. If you're like me and you're crap at trivia and just do it for a bit of fun, but what you want to do is just talk about movies with people, it's a really big, really, really good experience. So do things like this and watch more of this stuff. This was great fun. I love this.
I need to get John on more often because he's really plugging this, and I appreciate that. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys coming on here. For anyone else that's out there that's listening, or anyone that might be interested, please just hit me up. Let me know on the Opening Night Trivia League page. Just hit me up on Facebook. I'm probably friends with you somehow on Facebook, so just hit me up. It's cool. And remember, this requires no movie trivia knowledge to do. It's just for fun. You get no prizes. You get no wins. It's just...
And yet I still lost.
Yeah. There's a poll later. You might win that. I don't know.
You probably will. It's Lord of the Rings versus the Muppets. People are going to vote. Let's say Lord of the Rings versus Les Mis. People are going to vote for Lord of the Rings.
Maybe. I try. But this has been great. Please check out all the other stuff on Opening Night Trivia League. A lot of matches coming up. A championship coming up soon. The Geek. The GCCs that occur on occasion. And you know what? Let's just do this.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay. Actually, I have the schedule pulled up right now, which makes it really convenient. Next week, we are getting 2 matchups. We're getting Richie Goodacre versus Melissa Woody, and we're getting Scott Harvey versus Haley Elizabeth. As well as, I believe this Friday, we get a geek match. I'm not going to say which one it is in case I accidentally spoil something. But the 2 that I've seen tape are both good matches. Keep an eye out on that. And yeah, keep an eye out. We're actually nearing the end of our filming block. So within the next couple of weeks, it'll be out there if you're booked in the next block. So if y'all want to play, DM me and sign up so I can put you in there. Or just keep an eye on it. Like, hey, I'm playing soon. Time to watch an obscure movie that I like a lot.
Perfect. Looks like you got your next challenge.
Is that on trivia or on this? Because
either way.
Either one.
Double feature.
Malcolm, are you that desperate for a win? I've lost to everyone. Honestly, you've got nothing. There's no upside for you. This I've been through this with Jay. It's you beat me. Well done. Everyone beats me. You lose. Oh my God, you're the guy that's lost to me. Yeah.
Well,
that explains it.
Please check out Dave's podcast. It was a lot of fun to be on, and hit him up if you're ever interested. Other than that, for myself, for Dave, for John, for Spence, thank you for checking us out. Check us out next week when I do this again. Hopefully, if I remember to book people. So, see ya. Wrong one. And broadcast.